Sludge, how you do, Buckaroos? Boy, was having some issues getting set up. I'm just a few minutes late. Wow. Anyways, trying to do something that I've done once before, but kind of forgot because it's been a little over a week and had to figure it out again. Anyways, I digress. I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer for the purposes of this video. I'm going to do two versions. Well, actually, uh, do one drink, but I'm going to do it two different ways, I guess. An old fashioned. I did a maple nut note old fashioned. Here's what I did with this one. Let me change this real quick. So here's what I did. I used for both drinks here 2 ounces of the Tiakida Hinterland, which is a bourbon finished in maple syrup barrels. So I used 2 ounces of this. I used 1 ounce of the Disaronno Amaretto, and then a few dashes of toasted almond bitters, along with about ½ ounce of pure maple syrup in each drink to make a maple old fashioned. So there we go. So I've got one smoked here. Oh, nice. I used oak to smoke this one. And I've got one, of course, smoked with an ice cube, as you expect. But I've got one just regular, but it's served straight up, which means I've got it chilled, but I've got no ice in the glass. So I'm going to go right to the smoked, though. Should do the regular first, I know, but I don't like ice in my drinks. Sláinte. So it's nice. So I used oak, which is very subtle. So I didn't want a overpowering smoke. I've got apple, cherry, pecan. So I need to do a pecan something, but I didn't want to do pecan on top of almond. Also beechwood, but I hadn't tried the oak yet, so I wanted to try the oak. When I used it for the first time last week, I did pear. I wanted to say I got the backdrop, kind of do one of those, smoky lounge kind of thing going on. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I'm going to take a sip of this regular one, see if I can tell much difference. Oh, yeah, that's interesting. So, oddly enough, it kind of feels like the oak, the smoke. So, if you've got a big beer, right? If you got a barley wine, for instance, which tend to be very, very high in alcohol and very sweet, if you age it in oak, it really helps to balance the sweetness. It almost feels like that's what that oak smoke has done here. Is that it doesn't feel quite as sweet as my regular version over here. Almost like you've got that oak that kind of balances it out a little bit. And I do like some smoky. I do. So another friend suggested to try a whiskey sour, and I haven't tried that yet because I don't have any lemons here. But I do want to do something different though, and I've never done a smoked uh, martini. So my favorite gin, my favorite gins are those that are barrel aged, where you've got a little bit of that oak. So I'm curious, and I'm going to do a vodka and a gin, but I want to smoke both of them. So we'll do that. We'll do that later. But I want to start with these two. Took a little break. I had some lunch. We'll take a little pause for the cause after these two cocktails because I made them pretty good. Both have 2 ounces of the liquor, 1 ounce of the amaretto, and then a few dashes of a toasted almond, ½ ounce of maple in each. Using my Tiakida old-fashioned glass, as you can see. Yeah, I was going to use a rye, but then I remembered I had this maple bourbon. It just kind of made sense to use that. I got them both garnished exactly the same too. The only difference in the drinks is, well, one has the ice cube, one does not. One is smoked, one is not. Otherwise, the ingredients are the same. The garnish being an orange peel and a dark cherry. Now, not everybody likes to use a dark cherry. I guess I'm a classic cocktail guy in that manner. Even early recipes for an old fashioned call for the cherry and not the orange peel. I think the orange peel was kind of added later, but it's become synonymous with the cocktail. But I also have some sugared orange wheels I thought about using, but I didn't want to add sweetness upon sweetness, being maple. Adding the maple, I didn't want it to get any sweeter than that. Let's say. Oh man, I do like that smoke. My wife is not happy with me because I've kind of smoked us making the cocktails. But I love that smell. But I guess I understand that not everybody does. But I'm all about the smoke, man. I never smoked cigarettes or really anything, but I like smoking wood, man. And like I said, oak is a rather subtle smoke, subtle flavor. But yeah, it feels like it kind of balances that sweetness a little bit. We drink a little bit of this regular one here. An old fashioned is typically served with an ice cube, whereas the Manhattan is typically served just like this. I actually prefer the old fashioned straight up because I don't really need it as cold as a lot of folks seem to want it, I guess. Because I'm actually kind of preferring. Uh, uh, I do. I don't necessarily need my drink ice cold. Let me say that because you do want this cold. You start off with a cold. You chill the glass. You know, you chill the ingredients on ice and you pour it in. But again, as it warms up, the flavor changes a little bit. Do I want this exactly at room temp? No, I do not. I do want to chill on it, but I don't necessarily need that ice cube in there to keep it constantly cold either. But yeah, that's why you'll see me most of the time anyway with my old fashioned. I do tend to make it just like I'm making a Manhattan, serving it straight up. But I didn't want to serve one traditional and then kind of add the smoke to her. Oh man, that is good. That's delicious, man. Got my cocktail shirt on, my kind of vintage '60s. I wish I didn't get it didn't get copyright strikes. I'd really love to be playing some classic cocktail lounge music. Some Tina Brooks, some Lee Morgan. That'd be awesome if I could crank some Tina Brooks or Lee Morgan behind me. Some Coltrane, some Monk. You know what I'm saying? I love Coltrane, I really do. But there's something about Tina Brooks kind of came in big and then kind of faded away. But as an album, True Blue, is just nothing short of spectacular. If you're a Coltrane fan, listen to Tina Brooks' True Blue and tell me that album isn't brilliant. You will find no better sax work ever from anybody than Tina Brooks' True Blue. I'm telling you, man. But yeah, there's some Lee Morgan Sidewinder behind me, some Tina Brooks True Blue. Oh man, if only some Brubeck. Yeah, some Brubeck, some Coltrane. I wish I could play all that stuff behind me and not get a strike, but I would. I really would. Some Coltrane. That Tina Brooks True Blue. That album was just insane. Trade them up again. I'm feeling that smoke now. Damn, that's good. Yeah, man, that is really, really good, man. Did some bean soup for lunch, and it will be dinner as well. So it may get unpleasant for my wife to sleep. Maybe a little unpleasant. She may make me sleep out here. I tend to get a little gassy between the gas and the smoke. She is really not happy with me. Well, I'm not gassy yet, but it is coming. I can guarantee you. I get gassy, man. I got the worst intestinal tract known to man. Man, I can stink them out. I could be registered as a chemical weapon, man. It's bad, man. I could take out a room. Oh man, you should see me on Taco Bell. Oh my gosh, that is brutal. Taco Bell gets me toxic for a couple of days, man. Oh, that's brutal stuff there. I don't know what they're doing over there, but damn, they're putting some extra sting in those beats over Taco Bell, man. That's brutal, man. Uh, oh man, that is nice. Yeah, I had a friend give me that cocktail smoker set last weekend. I was just overwhelmed, man. Got some good friends. Treat me well. And a couple friends feed me at work yesterday. Brought me some tacos. They take care of an old fat man. Uh, it's nice to be appreciated. It really is. Yeah. And it's interesting now that I'm getting towards the end of the drink. I don't know if that smoke settles to the bottom. I don't know. There's science behind it, but I'm tasting more of the smoke now than I was early on. All right, now let's pick up our other version, our regular, if you will. Oh, mercy. Let's relax. Now we're just going to take it easy like we're in a cocktail lounge. Uh, Relax, man. Have a beer. Take her easy. Have a cocktail, I guess I should have said. Uh, Wife and I have our 30th anniversary coming up this year, so we're both trying to do something to lose some weight. Need to get more on a regular exercise program, though. But I'm trying to cut down on some beer and some other stuff. But it's hard to get over some bad habits. Even worse than the beer for me though is the I tend to get the late night munchies. If I'm up past a certain time, I tend to over snack. So I need to not do that, or I will go a long period of time without eating and then overeat to compensate. So trying to find some balance. My wife has lost a lot of weight over the last year. I lost a little bit, but not as much as she has. So I really need to start working on it. So I'm in better shape when we hit our 30th. took a little more time off than usual. I've never been really able to take more than a couple, 3 days off because of kids and then pets. And now we don't have the kids or the pets, so I'm taking more time off. So I'm hoping to get some money saved so we can enjoy the time off and not worry about starving when we get back. So I'm taking about the equivalent of 2 weeks off from work, but we're only going to be out of town about a week of it. But I wanted some extra time on both sides to kind of relax before I go back to work. Like I said, I've never been able to take that much time off before, so I'm gonna try just to enjoy it. We lost our last fur baby here and just before Thanksgiving last year, and that was a rough one because Eddie was Seamus's cat, and she'd gotten real close to my wife over the last few years. So that was a rough loss. And we just kind of decided didn't want to, you just can't replace him, something like that. Eddie was part of the family, like a furry kid. So at some point we'll probably add another edition because I do miss coming home to a cat as much as I hate to say that. Was never a cat person growing up because my dad hated cats and us kids were always just like our dads. We hated cats too until we had one. My brother's the same way. We both, in fact, at one point he had a bumper sticker on his car that said, "I love cats, dead ones." That's yeah. And now he has several cats, and I had several cats. We become the cat people in the family. We were the two that hated cats. But for whatever reason, the cats that we had seemed to gravitate towards me, and I never could figure that out. They were trying to win me over, I guess, or make me aware of my hypocrisy, because that's what cats do, right? You love me. There's no use fighting it. I'm adorable. Had one that gravitated towards me right away. It was Shadow. Then we had another one kind of sneak inside, Large. She started out as the outside cat, worked her way inside, and Shadow and Large would fight for my attention. But Shadow was not Shadow, but Large was a bully. We didn't realize how much of a bully until Large passed, and then both the other cats kind of relaxed because Large was a bully. Large would beat up on all of them. But after Large passed, Shadow became a real love bug and just wanted to be on my lap about all the time. I lost her in just before Christmas of no, we lost Large just before Christmas of 18, I guess, and then Shadow in 22, and then Eddie in 23. I don't want to immediately replace them like they were, hey, let's get a new one. That one's gone, and that's just not how it works for me. Our daughter picked out a dog when she was little, and that dog, I don't know, Mandy was, I think, with 13 when she passed, something like that. Anyway, but she didn't want another dog. Mandy was just a big personality that I want another dog because I would compare every dog we had since then to Mandy. There was just something special about that particular dog. And then these cats are the same way, for Shadow and Large and then Eddie. And just can't do it. Mercy. Focusing back on the cocktail. Yeah, so I had an idea to do a while back. I wanted to do kind of a nutty Manhattan. What was the original inspiration to get this Toronto? Um, and take out the sweet vermouth altogether. But then I did another version where I just kind of cut the sweet vermouth in half and added the Disaronno to it. So I still had the sweet vermouth for the Manhattan, but then I added the Disaronno and used the toasted almond bitters. Then I thought, well, let's do it as an old fashioned, do kind of a maple nut old fashioned, if you will. So we got the maple and the nut, maple syrup with the Disaronno, and then we add the toasted almond. Because before, when I've done a maple old fashioned, I've used the black walnut, but adding the amaretto, it only made sense to use the toasted almond bitters. Oh, fuck nuggets. Man, that's a good drink, man. See, here's the thing. At this point in the cocktail, to be honest with you, it has warmed up, but it's almost, for me, it's almost like a better. Yeah, I mean, I don't need the drink room temp per se, but I don't like that constant ice in there, that constant cold. I don't need that for me. That's probably why I've always preferred the Manhattan, because the Manhattan is served cold, but it's served straight up. So, and that's when I make my old fashions, I tend to make them the exact same way. Later on this evening, I'm going to try to remember to do a smoked martini. I've got an idea, so um, and I've got both gin and vodka, so I need to decide, because I was thinking doing the vodka and gin, but I really need to do the exact same martini twice, one smoked and one not. So I need to decide if I want to do vodka or gin. So, anyways, I digress. Sláinte, I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor, wisdom, and all around good guy. Sláinte. Damn, that's good.